Okay, so I was going to talk about the walking, what's called tudong. In our tradition, it's a Thai word, which means shaking off. Uh, tudong, walking from place to place and just carrying everything that you need on your back and going for alms, begging for food. But I'll come back to that and just wanted to touch on the meditation because I ended up guiding in a different way than I ever have before, on the theme of pain in meditation. Something we all experience is pain in meditation. It's just trying to sit still. The body's not designed to sit still, really, especially sitting cross-legged on the floor. And the theme for the retreat on Sunday is it's called Meditation Tips and Tricks, because I've got some very good advice about meditation over the last year. And the three that I had planned for Sunday, I've just recently received a fourth one, and it was specifically about pain and how to deal with pain in meditation. And so I thought I'd share that tonight, kind of sneak preview. Sunday we'll still get the talking about metta and a different type of meditation called asubha, because I've had this pain from ever since I started doing retreats. Once I can do 4 hours, 5 hours a day, not too bad. Start getting over 5 hours a day of sitting on the floor, cross-legged. I get this pain in the middle of my back, and it just builds up, like a burning pain. And often I end up switching postures and switching legs and changing the kind of sitting arrangement, trying to wriggle and try to find a posture, a way of sitting that isn't painful. So I recently did a retreat and we were sitting 10 hours a day, and the pain came on really strong. And I actually went to the teacher and talked to him about it. And he gave me a piece of advice that I'd never heard before, something that a technique that I'd never come across, because that experience that I was hopefully guided you through is if you have pain, there's often this question people ask in Q&A, should I look at the pain? Should I take the pain as the object? Or should I try to look away from the pain and ignore it? And I find it's a difficult question to answer because neither of them really work. I don't know if that was everyone's experience. Even as I was guiding it, I couldn't do it. Trying to look straight at the pain, it's like two magnets, like two north ends of magnets that just don't want to, the mind doesn't want to settle on it. You can't, where is the pain? You can't really feel exactly where it is. It's just a field of, I don't want to go there. And so you can't, it's very difficult to look straight at the pain. But also, if you try to run away from the pain, when I was a child, we had a corridor in the house, and the light switch was at one end of the corridor, and my bedroom was at the other end. And I'd switch the light off, take the first step, and it'd be about 30% fear of ghosts behind me. Next step 60%, next step 90%, and run. I'd run the rest of the corridor, and it's almost that feeling of running away from the pain. It's very destabilizing for the mind. It's very hard once you've been trying to focus on the pain if you have an intense pain, say, I'm not going to look at it. I'm going to go back to the breath, or I'm going to focus on something else. The mind's kind of wobbly and unstable and kind of, I don't know quite what the word is, frightened. And so looking away from the pain doesn't really work either. Trying to ignore it doesn't work. Trying to look at it doesn't work. So I was just stuck with this pain. And so I went to the teacher, and he said, well, you can do both. And it's something that I just never had thought about before. And so in that particular meditation, they focus on the area around the nostrils, the breath. And he said, you can be with the breath or with a sensation 70%, and with the pain 30%. You can kind of balance on the pain. You'd be aware of the pain. Like during the meditation, my pain was in the left hip. You can be aware of the pain and with the breath at the same time. And you can control how much, because I had 10 hours a day to experiment with it. So I experimented a lot with it. And when the pain gets quite intense, you can pull the awareness away and go to 20% and 80% with the breath. And then as the pain eases up, then you can come back to it. And eventually you can end up, you just kind of just go there and settle on the pain. As you slowly kind of introduce the idea to the mind, rather than just kind of forcing it to look at the pain, just slowly ease into the pain, ease in, come back to the breath more, and slowly ease into the pain. So this meditation was in my hip, but the, the the really bad one is in the middle of the back on the right hand side. And so I did this in this retreat, and I ended up straight on the pain and with it, and and just totally with the pain, looking at it, and where is it? And then you start noticing inside the pain, there's eventually you start noticing the pulse. It's not quite exactly where the pain is, but it's off to the side. And there's other sensations going on. You can suddenly start feeling some muscle somewhere else, some tension slightly off to the side in there. And you start thinking, oh, it's not just this kind of blob of pain. There's a whole range of different sensations in there. And it becomes kind of interesting. And then it's like, where is this pain? I can't put my finger on where this pain is. I never quite did pinpoint where the pain is, but eventually something literally in my back went blip, two little muscles or tendons or something went blip, and the pain just went psh. And I opened my eyes, and been 42 minutes I'd sat with this pain, just like looking at it. And and I spent the rest of the hour looking for the pain, and it was gone. And I've spent years running away from this pain, trying to adjust my posture and change the position, find a spot or go for a walk. And so it was really valuable advice that this teacher gave me, to just a technique for being with the pain, balancing, and just the general idea that you can be in two places. Your mindfulness, you can split it up 70-30 and be in two places at once. It was a bit of a revelation for me, something no one had ever told me that. I'd never tried it before. So it's a valuable, I hope that teacher doesn't mind me plagiarizing his work, but it's such a useful bit of advice that I share it now everywhere I go. I try to tell people. So often people ask, how do I deal with the pain, especially in a retreat situation?